since you mentioned it, can we at this point discuss the JVP's history of violence? And the NPP is trying to occupy a progressive space within Sri Lanka's political spectrum. Would you see the history of violence versus the current face of the JVP, and do you think that that's something that's holding back the electoral success of the party?
We need, as a society, to come to terms with political violence, and that's not just the JVP, sure. Right? And it's very interesting that we only talk about the JVP violence when we know for a fact that even in the 88-89 insurrection, the state was primarily responsible for most of the deaths and disappearances. We ended a war leaving behind lots of unanswered questions, right? Political parties for years have engaged in political violence, but somehow when we talk about violence, we only talk about the JVP, right? So especially given the fact that the JVP has not engaged in that type of violence in its political campaign since the 90s, since entering the democratic mainstream, right? Whereas there have been plenty of JVP members who've been targeted and even killed by other political parties since.
Activists.
Right, and activists who've been disappeared, who've been killed since 88-89, right? So I think there needs to be a bit of, but certainly I think as a society we need to come to terms, and that includes the JVP, needs to come to terms with the violence of the past.